Welcome to Retirement Lifestyles, where it's all about the health, wealth, and freedoms you need to live your dream retirement. I'm your host, Patrick McNally. We've got a great show lined up today, starting with Dr. Furst from the Enloe Medical Center, talking to us about how to keep your spine healthy. Next in our lifestyle segment, I may not be able to go on their trips, but the RV women of Northern California agreed to make a stop at our studio to tell us how you can join their next excursion. Plus, I'll be teaching you how to develop your own personal financial fitness program. Retirement Lifestyles starts right now. Welcome to our health segment of the show. This is always an important segment that I like to do because, especially talking when you're going into your retirement years, pain can be a major thing that affects a lot of people. And I'm proud to have with me today Dr. Furst from the Enloe Medical Center out of Chico. Thanks for making the drive over to visit with us today, Dr. Furst.
Good to be here.
Appreciate having you. Pain is one of those things that, I hear a lot of with retirees. And so walk us through what you specialize in at the Enloe Medical Center and, what your practice is.
Absolutely. So I'm a physician, I'm a medical doctor, and I actually went to medical school at an osteopathic medical school, so I'm a DO rather than an MD.
Can you explain the difference between that, Dr. Furst?
Absolutely. So one of the main differences is that DOs get a little extra training in the musculoskeletal system, so the bones and the muscles and the nerves and how they're all interconnected. So after medical school, I did my residency training in rehabilitation medicine, which is fairly broad. So after that, I did extra training in pain management.
So I think about that with pain management and rehab. My mother, for example, had her knees done, and she's doing rehab as we speak. And so it all kind of works together, right? What specifically, is there something that you see a lot of when people come to see you more than others?
Absolutely. So low back pain would be the most common pain complaint that I see.
Okay.
But people can have pain anywhere, as you know, in the neck, the knees, shoulders, hips. But the low back is certainly the most common.
Is that something you see mainly in retirees, or is that just kind of something that kind of widely affects everybody?
It's certainly very common among all age groups, but as we age, as we get into our 50s and 60s and 70s, it can become even more common.
Okay. Now, you brought this wonderful art piece from home.
I did.
You took it down from home and brought this for us. Tell me a little bit about what you specifically would show somebody here, or...
So this is our spine. This is the pelvis. So I just wanted to sort of highlight the fact that these are the discs of the spine. These are the joints of the spine. So basically what happens as we age is that these discs become thin and they wear out, and that puts more pressure on other parts of the spine, including these little joints. So often when these discs wear out, they can either herniate. A lot of us have heard of a herniated disc.
Yeah.
So they can herniate out and cause pain.
Does that mean they're starting just to kind of lessen and rub together? Is that why the pain occurs?
Yeah, well, the disc itself can cause pain. This is an example here.
Okay.
The disc bulging out. And the disc can also hit other structures like these nerves. And these are the nerves that go down our leg. So if the disc hits these nerves, it
just
can give
zaps you. Is that kind of when you feel like you get that? I mean, I'm starting to feel some stuff, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's just everyday life, right? We're active and we're doing stuff and we're starting to feel, and like you said, in the lower back, it's kind of strange that that's kind of the normal area that gets hit. But is that, so when those nerves get kind of crunched in there, is that why that little zap kind of goes down every once in a while?
Yeah,
you can even feel it in your legs.
Yep, so if anything irritates this nerve, we'll feel it down the leg. We call that sciatica. You may have heard of sciatica. So if there's arthritis around the hole where the nerve comes out, or if there's a bulging disc that irritates the nerve here, then we'll feel it down the leg. But as far as back pain itself, these joints, when people get arthritis in these little joints, that can be a common cause of pain, as well as pain from the bulging disc itself.
So what can people do about that?
So the first thing we often suggest is, see if time will sort of take care of itself, will take care of the problem. Because oftentimes when people have aches and pains, oftentimes it'll go away in a matter of days or 2 or 3 weeks.
So maybe they just got kind of sore, maybe they're help their buddy move or something like that, or just kind of turn the wrong way. And so that usually just works itself out. But what if somebody's got, constant tightness or pain in the back? Is that when they should come see you?
Sure. So when I come in is when conservative measures such as over-the-counter pain medications like Tylenol or ibuprofen or physical therapy, when those things haven't helped, I specialize in treating chronic pain with procedures or injections, and they can often be very helpful.
So are you a proponent of medication and physical therapy, or are you kind of one to the other? Because I know you often hear a lot in the news over medication and using some of these painkillers too often. People get addicted to that stuff.
Absolutely. So over-the-counter pain medications like Tylenol and ibuprofen are not addictive. So, but when we talk about addictive pain medications, we think of things like Vicodin, Norco, and those are appropriate in certain situations. After a major surgery, after major injury. But when you take those on a chronic basis over weeks and weeks, people can become addicted, and so I certainly don't recommend taking those long term. You'd
recommend more of like a stretching routine or a physical therapy kind of session in lieu of medication?
Yeah, I would recommend many things other than taking opioids or narcotics, such as physical therapy, losing weight, over-the-counter pain medications, and the procedures that I do to treat pain.
Losing weight, that's interesting you say that. That's probably a big factor as well. A lot of times, and I can say this because I've lost 50 pounds in the last year, so I can tell you that literally losing the weight has taken a lot of pressure off a lot of areas, my knees, my shoulders. So I guess that would be, one way. Are there some other strategies or tips you can give our viewers for how they can maybe loosen up the pain or work it out without having to have surgery or?
Sure. So certainly staying lean is one of the best things you can do. Also quitting smoking. If people smoke, that can be one of the worst things for your body. And so quitting smoking can certainly help with a lot of things, including it can reduce the risk for developing chronic pain.
Okay. Dr. Furst, if people wanted to reach out, if they're in pain right now, and they say, hey, I got to reach out, I want to talk to Dr. Furst, where could they reach you?
So my office is near the Enloe Medical Center in Chico, California. I'm actually at the Enloe Rehabilitation Center. So that's where I'm at, and they can call my office.
Is there a phone number you could give us for that?
Absolutely, 530-332-3277.
Dr. Furst, thank you so much for being on. I know this segment, I'm sure, has already helped a lot of people who are maybe out there having pain right now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are having that kind of pain that Dr. Furst was talking about, or even you may just have, like we said, you moved a piece of furniture or something, but don't wait. Get something checked out. Absolutely reach out to Dr. Furst at the Enloe Medical Center in Chico. Pick up the phone and call him, and he can answer your questions and at least get you started down a path to make you feel a whole lot better. Thanks for joining us. Most of us know it is smart to save money for those big-ticket items we really want to buy. A new TV? A car? How about a house? You may not realize that probably the most expensive thing you'll ever buy in your lifetime is your retirement. Maybe you've never thought of buying your retirement, yet that is exactly what you do when you put money into a retirement account. You are paying today for the cost of your retirement plan tomorrow. The cost of those future years is getting more expensive for most Americans for two reasons. First, we live longer after we retire, with many of us spending 15, 25, or even 30 years in retirement. Second, you may have to shoulder a great chunk of the cost of your retirement because fewer companies today are providing traditional pension plans. Many retirement plans today, such as a 401k, are paid for primarily by the employee, not the employer, which puts the responsibility of choosing retirement investments squarely on your shoulders. So today, I'm going to talk to you about how to develop a financial fitness program so you can whip those finances into shape. Unfortunately, less than 54% of all workers have a retirement plan at work, and many don't understand even the basics of investing. Many people mistakenly believe that Social Security will pay for all or most of their retirement needs. The fact is, Social Security provides a minimum foundation of protection. A comfortable retirement usually requires a blend of Social Security, retirement plan benefits, and personal savings. In short, paying for the retirement you truly desire is ultimately your responsibility. That may sound like an impossible task because many of us live paycheck to paycheck, barely making ends meet. You may have more pressing financial needs today, so thinking about something so far in the future seems daunting. Maybe you've waited until close to retirement before starting to save and feel like you're behind. Well, I've got good news. Whether you're 18 or 58, you can take steps toward a better, more secure future. So let's talk about getting financially fit and managing your financial life. And it all starts with the dream of a secure retirement. Like many people, you may wonder how you can achieve that dream with so many other financial issues that have priorities. Besides trying to pay for everyday expenses, you may need to buy a new car, or pay off debts, or save for education. You may have aging parents to support. How do you manage all of these financial challenges and at the same time try to save for retirement? How do you turn your dreams into reality? You start by writing down each of your goals. Don't be worried about leaving something out at this stage because you don't think you can afford it. This is your wish list, and this is the time to dream. Next, organize these goals into different blocks of years. List some of your goals that you want to accomplish within the next 5 years or less, and then other goals within 5 to 10 years, and then 10 years or more. It's important to separate them because, as I'll discuss later, you save for short-term and long-term goals differently. Now, organize your goals in order of priority and make retirement a priority. This needs to be among your goals regardless of your age. Some goals you may be able to borrow for, such as college or a car, but you can't borrow for retirement. Next, write down what you need to do to accomplish the goal. What will it cost? What money have you set aside already? And what are you willing to do to reach that goal? Now let's look at your current financial resources. You need to calculate your net worth, which isn't as difficult as it might sound. Your net worth is simply the total value of what you own minus what you owe. It's a snapshot of your financial health. You should review your net worth annually and recalculate your net worth at least once a year. It's a great way to monitor your financial health. Now, try to envision your retirement. Retirement is a state of mind as well as a financial issue. You're not so much retiring from work as you are moving into another stage of your life. Some people actually call retirement a new career. What do you want to do in that stage? Travel? Relax? Be near grandkids? Pursue your favorite hobbies? Go fishing, join a country club, work part-time, or do volunteer work? How about going back to school, learning something new? The answers to those questions are crucial when determining how much money you will need for the retirement that you desire and how much you'll need to save between now and then. The next thing everyone should have is a budget, or as I like to call it, a spending plan. Spending plan is a simple to set up. You really only have two categories, income and expenses. Add up all your monthly income, then add up all your monthly expenses. Don't be surprised if your expenses are more than your income. It may be time to cut some stuff out so you can save more. Now, where should you put your savings? Well, if it's a short-term goal, like a family vacation, or maybe the down payment for a house, those things that are 1 year or less, it might be best to put your money into one or more bank accounts or CDs. You won't earn very much interest, but the money will be safe and it's going to be there when you need it. For goals that are at least 5 years or more, like retirement, you may want to put some of that money into higher risk investments like stocks, bonds, real estate, or other assets. Unlike savings accounts or bank CDs, these types of investments typically are not insured by the federal government and there is risk that you can lose some of your money. How much risk? Depends on the type of investment. Generally, the longer you have until retirement, the more risk you can afford to take. The closer you get to retiring, the less risk you want to take. But why take any risk at all? Because the greater the risk, the greater the potential reward. By investing in things like stocks and bonds, you're more likely to earn significantly more money and keep ahead of inflation than if you kept all your money in savings accounts in the bank, for example. Financial fitness is a workout worth doing, but financial planning is not a one-time process. Life, your goals, tax laws, and the financial world in general have a way of changing, sometimes dramatically. So here are 5 things you can do to stay on track. Periodically review your spending plan. Monitor the performance of investments and make adjustments if necessary. Make sure you contribute more towards your retirement as you earn more. Update your various insurance safety nets to reflect changes in your income or personal circumstances, and always keep your finances in order. Hopefully you now realize that saving for your own retirement is critical and that it is primarily your responsibility. No one will work harder or care more about your retirement and your other financial goals than you will. That being said, you may want to consider professional resources as well as such help from a financial advisor or a tax person. These professionals and experts can help answer your financial questions and, more importantly, help motivate you into action and help you stick to your program. Finally, there's only one real key to buying the retirement you always dreamed of. It doesn't matter whether you are still young or whether retirement is just around the corner. It doesn't matter whether you're in your first job, trying to save for a home, putting a child through college. All that matters is that you start saving now. You can do it. Hi, and welcome to the lifestyle segment of our show. I'm really excited with our guest today because here in the North State, we love to be outdoors. And RVing is such a huge thing that I brought on an RVing expert with the RV Women, the freewheelers, right here in Redding. And I want to welcome Beverly to the show. Beverly, thanks for being on Retirement Lifestyles. We're so glad to have you today.
I'm glad to be here.
So it is such a big deal up here. In fact, we got, one of the major RV dealerships. You can't miss it on I-5 when you're driving past it. So when you're coming up into Redding and into the North State that you're coming into the outdoors, pretty much capital of California, in my opinion. And RVing is a huge, huge piece of that. How did you get involved in RVing?
I was a widow, and my mother came to live with me after my father died. She was from Vermont. She got very homesick, and so I decided to buy an RV and take her on a trip. And we were gone for a year. And
a year?
We were gone for a whole year. We went south. We went through New Mexico to Florida, up the East Coast to Maine to Vermont and back. And then shortly after we were back, she passed away, and here I was with this RV wondering what I was going to do now with it.
And that was on the East Coast. How did you end up in California?
No. It was from California, and she came from the East Coast to live with me.
Okay. So Mom passed away, but you had this big RV. How big was this RV?
31 feet.
Oh my gosh.
Class C.
That's intimidating just to think about. Now, I don't drive an RV. I love to camp and I love to be outdoors, but I see some of these big RV rigs on the road and think to myself, is it kind of scary to drive one of those?
It was scary when I first got into it, but after driving across country and back, and I've done it more than once now, it's not scary at all. I feel like I could get right into one of those big diesel pushers and take off.
And not be scared at all.
Not be scared at all.
You could back that thing up and have no problem doing
No problem.
it. So you're in California, and now Mom has passed away.
Right.
So what was your decision with the RV? Did you think about selling it?
No, never crossed my mind to sell it because I enjoyed traveling so much.
Okay.
But I didn't want to just do it by myself. So I started looking for organizations. I got online and started researching organizations and found several. And that's how I stumbled across the freewheelers.
Tell me about the freewheelers. Now, they're based right here in Redding?
No.
Okay.
The freewheelers are a chapter of a national organization, which is RVW, that has chapters all over the country. The freewheelers actually started in San Francisco and spread until we now cover all of Northern California and Northern Nevada, have about 250 members.
In the entire organization, or just the freewheelers?
Just the freewheelers.
Wow.
We're the biggest chapter in the United States.
And you're the biggest chapter of RVW, which
Yes.
is RV Women.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So the Freewheelers, 250 strong now.
Right.
You join them. Do you have any sub-chapters, like in Reading? Do you guys get together once a month? How
No,
does
but
that
what
work?
we do is we have an outing every month, and we spread it around so that in June, we were at Woodson Bridge in Corning. We also go over on the coast to Duncan Mills. We go down close to Sacramento. We go close to San Francisco. Somewhere different. We have 12 outings every year, someplace different each time. People who are retired, like I am, stay for 4 days. Those that have to work only get to stay for 2. We usually have anywhere from 20 to 50 RVs will show up on any given weekend.
20 to 50. Now, but you get together once a month.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you do any other outings with maybe smaller groups? Do those get kind of created as you make friendships?
Sometimes, yes. They have some that are non-official outings where people will organize one on their own. But for the most part, people, I think, tend to stick to the monthly ones since there's other things going on in their lives
Right.
besides.
Now, this is RV Women, so there's no guys allowed, right?
That's right. No guys allowed.
All
There
right.
are married women who leave their husbands at home. There was even one who bought a new rig and was concerned about driving it, and her husband drove her up, and he had to leave and go back home while she stayed.
They came up parked and they kicked him out.
That's right.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Now, tell me some of the destinations that have been your favorite throughout the state of California.
One of the ones that's one of my favorites is at Casa de Fruta, which is down near Gilroy. And I always really enjoyed that one. And I have personally, for 5 years, been the host of the one we have at Durango in Red Bluff. So that's always been one of my favorites, too. But I'm turning that over to somebody else this year. I think I've done it long enough.
Okay. So getting out in with the RV, what are some of your favorite things to do? Maybe for people who have never done RVing, what are some tips or things that you would give, or some ideas that they can look forward to going into retirement? Maybe they've thought about it, but maybe they're a little hesitant to get into it.
I think that there's 2 different things. If you're a person that likes to go places and see things like Niagara Falls or the Grand Canyon, that type of thing, there are always sights to see. If you're a person who just likes to get out and be quiet and go for a little hike or walk and eat at your picnic table, there's that too. I find the quiet one of the things that I like most. And one of the things I like most about the Freewheelers is you can have anything you want. You can go and sit in your rig all day by yourself if you want, and you can go out and do things with individuals. And we have big cookouts, and we have buffets, and we always have breakfast and dinner together. And there's a lot of social things going on. And then groups will take off and go do things wherever we're at, where you might sightsee.
So no big set agenda. It's free to do what you want.
That's why we're called the Freewheelers.
It's the Freewheelers. You're
That's
free
right.
to do what you want.
Exactly.
That's the best part.
Yep.
Where can, if people are interested, if ladies are interested in looking at this group and joining them, is there a website that they can
Yes,
find?
I would suggest they check out the website. It has a list of all of the activities where it's going to be, each month, and it's got lots of pictures of past events that you can go to. And that website is www.rvwfreewheelers.org.
Why would you say that RVing is such a big thing in Northern California?
I think Northern California's got a lot to see, and you don't run out of things at all. Great place to be, both for RVing and living.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of the outdoors capital. That's one of the reasons that we love it so much. My family and I, and we love to get outdoors and camp and do all that good stuff. And RVing is kind of that next step as well, maybe going into retirement. Would you say that maybe it's, if my wife had her choice right now, she'd want to be in an RV instead of a tent. I can tell you that right now. It's more luxurious.
Yes, and it's a little more luxurious, a little bit easier when you have trouble getting up and down.
Absolutely. That's good.
Yeah.
Can you give us the website one more time for the people that would want to look it up?
It's www.rvwfreewheelers.org.
Beverly, thank you so much for being on the show today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Hey, folks, it's been such fun talking with Beverly. And if you want to check out the Freewheelers, go to that website that she talked about. And especially you ladies out there, this is a great club and organization to be a part of. You can create lifelong friendships and have a lot of fun in the North State, where it's all about having, the fun and freedom to do what you want. And the Freewheelers goes right along with that. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching our show this week. If you want more information about any of the guests or topics we talked about, you can visit the Retirement Lifestyles page at KIXE.org. We'll see you next week on Retirement Lifestyles, where it's all about having the health, wealth, and freedoms you need to live your dream retirement.